They go downstairs, they get in the car, 10 minutes on the way, I get an email package. In 11th, I had like 65%, man. I was the complete opposite. I was like, I'll never go abroad. Like I hate that. It hurts like a bitch when you work hard and it doesn't work out in that thing. Because I've had a few things where but I couldn't see their expression of me telling them that I got a scholarship,
Oh,
which was fif-
yes.
which was 15 grand, which was 30% of the whole course fee.
All right, Kushagra. So I remember the first time we interacted, it was back in college, DDUC, 2019. I was your senior, you were my junior. I was interviewing you for Inactus, I guess. And that was the first time I interacted with you. And I remember that conversation not uh, quite clearly, but a vivid memory of I interacted with you. And then we formed the team and everybody was working, all of those things. But you were quite different from everybody in the team. Why? Because I surrounded myself with a lot of people who are quite uptight, just like me, right? So everybody was giving all in, in actors को हम लोग international पहुंचा देंगे, something of that sort, right?
Yeah.
And you were really smart, but you were like not somebody who'll be like, oh my God, I work day and night for this. So
Okay.
nonchalant, somebody who's just a chill guy. So in my mind, your image was a smart and chill guy who doesn't give
Hmm.
in everything. So we would
Hmm.
not interact that much. You were in actors, but we would not interact that much for projects or anything of that sort.
Yeah.
So we didn't speak that much. Cut to, I think, 2 years after we graduated. I saw one day you posting starting MBA in finance at Cambridge. I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, he
Yeah.
was just a chill guy and he made it to Cambridge. I'm like, that's quite cool.
Hmm.
So, and after that, we started speaking. Quite selfish and materialist I am, just making friends with people who
Hmm.
are successful. So,
Yeah. Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, what I want to know is DDUC happened. DDUC, we all
Yeah.
know it's not a big deal. And then after which 2 years you're working in finance, and then Cambridge
Hmm.
happens.
Hmm.
So, how were you in DDUC? What was your perspective on you as a guy? Were you planning to go to Cambridge? Were you planning to uh, do
Yeah.
something like this? And then
Hmm.
when you were working for 2 years, how was that like?
Okay. So I'm not sure if you want to cut this out in post production and you want to say it again, but it was Masters in Finance, not MBA in Finance, and I think you misspoke.
Okay.
You know it's
Hmm,
Masters of Finance, but whatever.
hmm,
I know you
hmm.
know, so it's fine. Don't worry about
I
it.
I forgot, yeah. Hmm,
Nah, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. So,
hmm,
I'll start by, and actually, I do not remember interviewing with you. I don't remember, like, I remember the interviews I took, and I took like about 60,
hmm,
70 interviews the next year when I was
hmm,
in the core team. But I don't remember interviewing with you. I'm sure you would have introduced, like, I have no idea of how the conversation went.
hmm,
But yeah, for me, when I started with Inactus, it was just, yeah, it's something I found nice, I found cool, and I just wanted to participate in it, do something that I just like doing stuff, business, entrepreneurship, that side of things. And I was like, yeah, this looks like it does good to the society. I get exposure, I can learn some stuff. Why not do it? And that was just me doing it. I wasn't trying too hard, or I wasn't trying to get, I don't know, just be in the core team or whatever. I was just doing my own part, whatever I can do, honestly, and just, yeah, whatever, get by. And so, obviously, I had my first semester in DDUC, like physically. I was in Delhi. And then COVID happened, went back home. For the first few weeks was like, theek hai, ho jayega, this and that. We will be fine. But then as soon as I realized, oh, it's going to be a long-term thing, probably 3, 4 months in, I have this problem of I can't be just free for like a really long time. I need to start doing something, right? Because then I get bored. I enjoy it when I do not have to work, but it's only for a few days, right? So that's when I was like, you know what, I need to start doing something, and I was just fucking, I don't know, bored or whatever. And so I was looking at stuff I can learn, things I can do, and I have a very close friend. He was doing the CFA level 1 and we were just talking about it. I was like, cool. So I just went online, looked at it, and my first impression of CFA level 1 was, damn, this is hard. And like, I do not understand anything that they're talking about. like zero
Mm.
idea, because I had zero experience or interest in finance when I was in first year of college. And I was like, you know what? This is the perfect thing. I have zero idea about this. It will probably irritate me because it's that hard and it's the right thing to learn. I have the time. I'll just take it right. I'll study for a couple of months, not enroll for the exam. If I end up liking it, I will enroll for it. So that's eventually what happened, right? I did that, and I was like, this is hard enough, but this is the right amount of hard, and I really like it. So I'll just sit for the exam. I do that. I get the CFLL1, and then I start liking finance because it's like very wide. It's also very deep. You can just, if you're curious about stuff, if you like learning stuff, there's just so many things you could do. And at that time, I didn't have anything else to do. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it, we'll do this. So I did that. Then COVID ends. During COVID as well, I think I was in fourth semester, and then when the placements start. And at that point, I think I had just given the CFLL1, or I was enrolled for it. And that is when companies came in, and one of them was my first employer, Tres Vista, and they had a finance profile. And I applied for it, got in, I got the job during COVID, and when I was in fifth semester, whatever it was. And then COVID ends, go back there, go back to DDUC, do nothing for the last term. Like I told my parents, expect nothing out of me as a child, as a student. All I'm going to do is have fun. So just bear with that, please. And they did. Uske baad mein, I just started working. I worked for 2 years. Uh, First 5, 6 months was, of course, in Mumbai, Tesla. Enjoyed that. That was quite a good amount of hours. It was proper scary finance hours that I was working, which just sucks out the soul out of you. But it was fine. It was fun. The learning curve was insane. And then I helped with my family business for a year and a half. And then what actually happened was I never planned to do a master's abroad. I've always been one of those people where like there's a lot of kids who already have planned in seventh or eighth standard that, oh, we want to go abroad. I was the complete opposite. I was like, I'll never go abroad. Like I hate that. I will never go abroad.
What?
And that was one. Uh, there wasn't a strong reason behind it, but it was more of I don't see a need for that. And I'm not sure why that was the case. Maybe I didn't have enough exposure. Maybe I didn't have any family members who were living outside India. So maybe it was just an umbrella of things you do not know that you do not know what they have to offer. So maybe it was just me being naive about it. But that was it for me. Cut to 2 years post DDUC. I'm just looking at stuff. I want to get back into finance after the family business, although I was looking at the finance side of the family business, and I also did CFA level 2 during that time. I still wanted to get back into like hardcore finance. And I was just looking at stuff, right? Just going online, seeing stuff, and then I come across, oh, masters or MBA, right? Just random scrolling through things, and I never thought of, oh, there could be a master of finance. So I'm just looking
Mm.
at stuff, and there's a master of finance, and then you have seen those uh, FT, I think, releases a list. There's a couple of places that release lists of the best schools, like business schools by course and stuff. So I go for finance, and there's like a list of schools that are really good. I see a few, and then I go click on them. I look at the website. I'm looking at what are their alumni like, or what are the profiles of people who entered the course, who started the course, right? And I'm like, wait a minute. This looks like something I can just, I don't know, apply for. Maybe I'm lucky I get in, whatever. Maybe it might work out for me because the only edge I have or I had at that time was having a CFA level 2, right? And not a lot of people have that. There's mostly anybody who has all three levels of CFA or even two, majority of them would be over 30 and they have
Yeah.
worked 10 years in the industry. And it's like really important for them. For me, it was out of just pure curiosity and wanting to learn something. And not even in Cambridge right now, in my cohort of 90 people, there's I think only three of us who have a CFA level 2. And there's 6, 7 who have a CFA level 1. So I applied for IE Business School in Spain, in Madrid. I was in love with that school. I wanted to go there. Then Cambridge. I also applied for LBS has two courses for one of them, which is for like early careers.
Mm.
And what ended up happening, the first acceptance I got was, so I only applied to these three places. I got accepted from IE Spain, and I was really happy. I was just because Madrid is such a beautiful city. It's a really good school. It's not that expensive. Of course, it's expensive, but compared to Cambridge, it's not expensive. And then living and stuff as well. And then I also got accepted into Cambridge, which was quite not a shock. It, I saw it coming because they reached out to me saying, "Oh, can we get some clarity on your work ex?" And then there's an interview stage. So after the interview for Cambridge Masters of Finance, most of the times it's like unless you're really bad, you will probably get through the interview process because it's just one interview with a senior professor, and they're not even questioning your technical abilities. It's more of your perspective towards life and how you think of things, how you think of, let's say, global exposure. What do you think are the worst threats to us in the next 10 years? Right? What do you see AI will do? What's your opinion on climate? Right? Just stuff like that. So your overall
Mm.
opinion of the world is a conversation. So when I got accepted, it was more of a relief, which is with most of the things. But then I, out of nowhere, got a scholarship as well, like 30% of the tuition fee. I got scholarship. That is what really like blew my mind because I don't think I deserve it. At that point, I would say I got lucky, like even in applying and getting in, and then also getting the scholarship. But I don't know, it just worked out in a weird way where I never planned to do this. But then when I got I was not expecting an acceptance, right? But then when a place like Cambridge calls you, you can't say no. You sort of have to say yes. And the more important part is, so the course starts like September 2024. Now, usually people would apply September 2023 to early 2024. I started applying in February or March of 2024, which was the last round for all of these schools. And I did not have a GMAT because I was never planning to do it. So just because I had the CFA, they were okay. They said, okay, you were quantitatively good enough to do the CFA level two. So you should be fine. We don't need a GMAT from you. So I sort of got lucky over there as well. That a really high profile course like the MFin at Cambridge is also okay without a GMAT if I have the CFA. So I sort of got lucky. It just worked out in a way, and yeah, that's sort of the whole journey of me not expecting it and just coming out of nowhere.
Mhm. You're actually, downplaying it quite a lot. First is the CFA, that is CFA level 2, which you're downplaying, and then Cambridge. And I'll tell you why. When you say CFA level 3s, I think people who are in their 30s, they have it. And
Yeah.
people who are in the late 20s, majority of them have CFA level 2. But I know a lot of people who make CFA a whole personality, right? So day and night, they are completely all in. There is something that you must have done right that a lot of people don't. And in retrospect, you must think that. I'm really sure that you will be thinking about that, or you must have thought about it earlier. What was
Mm.
it that you did right? Or was it not being too hard on yourself and just being curious about it? Is that what played in your favor? What was it?
Mm. So um, I'll answer it two ways. One would be just what I think about it, and second would be more of technically what I think I did right. So the first thing would be I genuinely think I got lucky in terms of like external circumstances because it's if I start preparing for a CFA level right now, it will be my whole personality because I do not have time for anything else if I'm
Hmm.
working full time, right? When I'm level one was in COVID. So I've got nothing to do. That exam needed 300 hours. I can put in 900 hours just because I can, right? I have the luxury of doing that. I mean, I could take credit for the fact that I chose to not waste my time, if you want to put it that way. But I think that's the bare minimum I would expect out of myself. So I don't count it as something I did which was right.
Hmm.
The second thing would be, and then the CFA level two was around where uh, I'm working for my family business. Now it's work, of course. You own a business, you know how it is. But then you can also manage it around things, right? I can decide when to study more or when to study less or when not to study. So it's a lot more flexible. I'm not dependent on a corporate job where just I'm a rugged around from 9 to 9 and then I'm trying to work. I can't go out. So I think that is how I got lucky in that sense. It was just very convenient for me to do. On the technical side of it, of how I approached the exam, because for me, it was more of just pure curiosity and wanting to learn something new. I was never going for the exam in terms of, oh, I need to pass this exam. It was more of just, I want to know everything that's there in this curriculum. And that's why I wasn't the most efficient uh, person preparing for the exam, because I put in 2x or 3x amount of hours that's actually needed. And that helped me in a way where I have really strong fundamentals about finance now, and I'm really comfortable with anything around finance, right? So I think that is what I technically did, right? It was more of just trying to learn stuff instead of trying to pass the exam. And that's why even when I was sitting for both the exams, I was quite confident that I'll get through them. It's like when I sat for the exam, I wasn't nervous as such because I knew I had put in enough work and I knew all of the sort of curriculum. So that's, I think, what helped me out.
Hmm. Got it. And then about the Cambridge application that you say that you got lucky. And I remember you telling me that there have been lots of ups and downs, and you wrote the essay, and then they contacted you
Yeah,
back.
yeah,
What was
yeah.
that like?
So I applied, right? All you do is you put in an application and you do not have to put in another application for the merit scholarship that the Judge Business School gives itself. Now, there's a lot more scholarships that you could get, which are external from different colleges or from different, let's say, places in India. There's a lot of scholarships that go around, right? But I was too late for all of them, and this was the only chance I had. And you don't have to write anything else. You just put in your application raw basic. If they like you enough, they'll offer you a scholarship. That's how it goes. So I reach out to I put in my application. One random evening, I get an email saying, "Oh, uh, can you talk more about your experience working in Mumbai? What was your day-to-day like?" Now, I don't remember exactly what the wording was of that email, but I just got the sense that this is a make or break moment because the way I write this email and how nice they like my experience to be, I will get in. And if it's more of they don't think it's good enough of a finance experience, they might just reject because you got to understand even though in the family business I was looking at the finance part of it I was also wearing a lot more hats, and the minimum experience you need for this course is 2 years, and I'm just crossing that. I've only exactly worked 2 years, so I'm one of the youngest people here. So my experience, they wanted my Mumbai experience to be really core finance, and I wrote that email like in an hour or two. Honestly, shout out to ChatGPT. If ChatGPT wasn't in my life, no way in hell I'm cruising through this course. But I did that because of GPT. Uh, so so I wrote everything that I did in Mumbai, full depth, and then I asked ChatGPT to just make it grammatically better, right? Just have that more impact. Nothing which wasn't factual, but just make it more presentable. Send it over to the admissions office, and then they get back to me the next morning saying, "Thanks for that. We would want to welcome you for the interview stage." Now, when I got that email, that's when I got a little happy because if you're through for the interview round, I trust my skills enough where I will be a decent candidate. And then it's also, as I told you, it's not a really hard interview as such. It's just more of conversational and what your opinions are. So I do the interview, happens, whatever. I'm waiting for the result. And then I get an email that you've been accepted, but you do not have any scholarship. I was like, cool. I was expecting, this was exactly what I was expecting, an acceptance without a scholarship. And then, like, for me, I'm one of those people who never reach out to people for anything because it just feels uh, very weird for me to ask for anything, right? Even if it's rightfully mine, I still can't ask for it. I just feel very awkward doing that. But for some reason that day, I got the acceptance in the evening, and I wrote down an email to the guy who was coordinating with me. And I was like, listen, is there anything I can do to make my chances better for getting a scholarship? It would really mean a lot to me, even if it would be like a 2, 3 grand scholarship, which is like 2 lakh INR or whatever. Anything would really help me out because I know for a fact everything's going to be funded through a student loan, even my day to day. sleeping and eating. So anything would be of help. And he just said, maybe it was just out of pure petty for me. He said, you, wait, I think I lost you, Tanushka. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can see you.
Okay, you can see me. I can't see you, but it's fine. I'll just stop me if you can't see me or if you can't hear me. So that he just said, all right, write down an email, but do not expect anything because most of the funds are used by June, and we don't have a lot of
Mm.
things. We don't have a lot of money left. There's a slight chance we still have some money in the pot, and then we can look at your profile and your essay and then award you something. I was like, cool. He fair. So I wrote down a whole, you could call it a statement of purpose or an essay or why I want the scholarship or why I deserve it, why I need it. I
What did you
write that.
write? Why do you deserve
I
a
have
scholarship?
no idea. I have no idea. I don't know. It was probably more of a mixture of how probably what I do, I try to do it with like the best quality, being the best I, whatever I try to do. If it's academic, if it's work, I try to be
Mm.
best I can be, fulfill my potential, just throw some of those angles which I feel are true about me. And then also a need basis. I'm sure I would have written that, or it would help me out. It's difficult to fund, whatever. And I'd also gotten a scholarship from IE. So I was like, maybe I can just, I don't know, there's a good chance they offer
Mm.
as well. So I send that email out, and all I'm expecting is either a no in June, which would be fair, or maximum 5 grand, right? Which would be what about, I don't know, 4 or 5% scholarship, 10% scholarship for the course, right? And I'm like, cool. Then this one day, I still remember, I I was following up on when I'll get to know. It was something like that. I was waiting, like I knew within the next, yeah. So yeah, I got the email where this guy said, okay, we have decided to give you a scholarship. He didn't write the amount, and it was, please send over these documents for us to do some documentation, yada yada
Mm.
yada. I sent the stuff, and I'm happy. You know what? Yeah, and the most I was expecting was 5 grand. Like, there's
Mm.
no way you're giving me anything more than that because I'm not bringing in 8 years of like crazy experience or like whatever. And now I still remember clearly. I'm sitting in Rishikesh at my uncle's house,
Mm.
my chacha's house, right? And then I still remember sitting at the recliner and I had my notifications on my phone turned off, but I would use my iPad throughout the day because it was a vacation for me, right?
Mm.
Basically stopped working for the bill. I was just, and all of us were on a family vacation. I was on my iPad and I would get this swipe down notification for all of the emails I would get on my Gmail account. So more than the video I would be looking at, I would be focusing on, I hope I get a notification, right? And I'm waiting for the whole day. And of course, then there's this hour difference of India timing difference, time zone, and the UK. The whole day passes by. He said, we'll be getting back to you super soon. Now, super soon, and that was last day. So super soon for me is like a couple of hours. The guy doesn't reply to me for the whole day. The next day, I'm waiting for it. And I've told my mom that, you know what, I'll hear back on something, yada, yada, yada. And they wait for the whole day. Everybody's at home doing their own thing, but just in case we hear back, they decide my chacha, my choti mummy, we call my choti mummy, chachi choti mummy, and then my dad, my mom, all four of them, they went outside for like they wanted to go somewhere. I don't. It was like a 2 3 hour thing, but that waited
Mm.
the whole day. And they're like, you know what? Let's just go out. They go downstairs. They get in the car. 10 minutes on the way, I get an email, right? And I think till the time I die, this will be like one of my biggest, not regrets because I didn't have anything in my hands, but I couldn't see their expression of me telling them that I got a scholarship,
Oh,
which was
yes.
which was 15 grand, which was 30% of the whole course fee. And it basically meant I'm saving 15 grand in the course fee. I can use that in my living expenses. So basically my living was free, right? Which is really big for me. Um, I wouldn't say we are middle class, but we are upper middle class. But for sure, we cannot afford this university at all. We cannot afford this country at all, for sure. So it meant a lot to me. And I remember like I never celebrate my stuff because it's more of like I see it coming and I don't care enough about it. So I just was like, yeah, cool. Like I feel relaxed more than anything. When I got that email and I saw 15,000, I still remember reading it. Bro, I started bawling out. I was crying. I was like, that was arguably like my top two moments in life of like happiness. And I called my mom and dad because I couldn't wait to tell them. I, hindsight, it's dumb. I should have waited. I should have waited for them to come back and then tell them. Uh, but I'm sure there must have been some reason. Maybe they were coming the next. I'm not sure. This was, I don't know, year and a half ago. But whatever it was, and they were, of course, they were really happy. But like I couldn't see what they felt on their face. So it's one of my regrets. I always hold that I couldn't see how they felt. But that's how I got the scholarship, and it was purely out of just one of those things. It's like only one person needs to say yes. Or like I was just shooting my shot. I just sent an email saying, "Oh, can I do anything?" And that led to me saving 30% of the tuition, which is insane. And maybe I would have just, I don't know, maybe I would have decided to go to IE Spain if I didn't get the scholarship, because that would be half the amount, half the expenditure.
Mm.
So it's like I just got, yeah, I got weirdly lucky, I want to say. And they had the funds. They're like, you know what, we'll give it to this guy. So yeah, that's how it happened.
All right. And then cut to the first day in the classroom. And now everybody is the shit. Everybody has more experience than you. Everybody has done quite a lot in their lives. You are the
Yeah.
youngest in the entire cohort. And did you feel a little, I have a little edge, or maybe I have, some sort of.
So the thing is, there's I think two or three more people who are the same age as me. So we would like there was a 5, 6 group of people who were the youngest within 6, 8 months of each other. I would say the average age is maybe 26 years,
Hmm.
maybe pushing 27 for the cohort. So we were warmed up to each other. The first day wasn't a class. The first day was just going out, having some food, interacting with each other, getting to know each other. So we were sort of warmed up into introducing ourselves into each other and just team building activities. So it wasn't very hostile or whatever. But so I didn't think I have an edge. The thing is, I was so not. I was more excited than I was nervous because I felt number one, this is not school anymore. And why you would feel going to nervous to a school would be because end of the day, it's kids and kids are really mean, right? You were like you were scared to embarrass yourself. For me, it was
Hmm.
more of these are grown adults, right? These are professionals. These are people who have done shit in their life. It's fine. What's the worst that could happen? And also for me, it was like when I'm in a position of where I need to perform and I know about it, that I need to perform and I know that I'm good at it, right? Which is like, what do I have to do when I enter the course? Be good at this education. And I have the confidence because most of the education that this Master of Finance gives to you for all of these different business schools around the world is mostly CFA level one, little bit of CFA level two. So I knew getting into it that most of the things they'll teach me, I know already, right? And then when I'm that confident about something, a different version of me comes out, which is super confident. It's just like, you know what, it's fine. I'm chill. I'm cool. It's okay. So there wasn't, I didn't feel any hostile feeling, but yeah, for sure, everybody in the cohort, there was, and you know what, that's a very fair question because I was expecting people to be I don't know, the classic smartest people in the room from every room in the world. And that is still the case. These are the smartest people from the smartest rooms in the world. But I also felt what would come with it is like not good personalities. It would come, there
Hmm.
would be people who are just the same brand of being cocky or being rude or who think there's nobody bigger than them. Of course, everybody is a little narcissistic. That's fair. Everybody, I think, in general life is as well. It's just a matter of if you get to express it or not. So it wasn't the case. I mean, the experience was as similar to if you go to any Indian college and start to become honors again. It was just the same. Everybody has different personality. They're really smart in some stuff, but they'll make the most stupid jokes ever. And
Hmm.
that's everybody has different personality. Like you would forget because I do it day to day. I forgot that I'm in Cambridge. Like I barely ever realized it that oh these are some really smart people. So it was just very normal. It was a nice experience. Like starting it out. Of course, it was stressful because you're figuring out your living situation, everything. But it was fun. Nothing too hostile or yeah.
Yeah, even the classrooms, like I know even in India, if you put a lot of smart people in a room, majority of them will try to prove themselves, right?
Hmm.
Whereas when you told me about the experience of the initial days, you said everybody wants to help each other out. So maybe you're hanging out at the bar, just, trying to learn something from somebody.
Yeah, yeah. I think there wasn't, of course, there was an element of proving yourself for sure. There would be something because end of the day, what I believe is if there's any set of high performing people, a lot of them will share some qualities, some good qualities, some bad qualities. And for a lot of high performing people, it's a lot of times also driven from insecurities or not being good enough. So then feel the need to get that validation. And I'm
Mm,
sure all of us have it in like different capacities and it comes out in different ways. So you could see that happening, but it was just an, I think, normal amount, which you would
mm,
see in a normal random school or a random college. It was just the same for us. It wasn't like, oh, because there are smart people there, it's like 30 out of 30 out of the 90 are trying to prove their point. It wasn't like that. It was just the normal percentage of two, three people going at it once in a while, which is completely fine. And they had valid points from their experience. And in terms of I think helping each other out, it was more of just especially in the beginning, like even if you don't know anybody, you're there to everybody's smart enough that they want to create those bonds. And this is going to be a good batch of people to network with. So it's also I'm sure it's also coming out of that. Like a lot of it is coming out of the good of the people, and they're just very warm, coming out in from different places in the world. Somebody's from some country in Africa, somebody's from some country in Asia, somebody's from Europe, somebody's from America. So you also want to learn more about each other. You just genuinely intrigued, sort of and curious, right? So it just happened. Like people were nicer, and I think that's normally the case when you start out things. So yeah, that's the thing.
interesting. And when you started off initially, it was more like I will interact more with people who are not from the same
Mm,
background, who are not from India. And I remember you saying that I don't want to hang out with Indian people and they just form groups of their own and I
mm.
don't like it. I want to be exposed to the other cultures. So how was
So
that like and how
yeah,
it changed?
yeah. So it started with me interacting with everybody, right? But that's me trying to get out of my comfort zone. And then naturally, for me, it's more of hi, hello to a lot of people, but then having a couple of close friends. I don't like going out too much, stuff like that. That's how, like, that's who I was when I started the program. And then that happened for 4, 5, 6 months till summer of this year, till around May. And I didn't form any relationships with anybody. It was just a hi, hello with everybody. And then I realized that's not okay. And it's not healthy in both ways where I should be making friends. It's always important. And also that I'm in a new country. You need relationships to thrive. You need that sort of, I don't know, you just need that. You don't have family here anymore. You don't have people that you know, right? Stuff like that. So, but after that, I started interacting with more people, went back to India for about a month in March, April. And then since I've been back from there, I've been going out a lot more, enjoying a lot, uh, going to parties, making new friends. And I think I am friends with almost all the Indians. I'm also friends with a lot of Europeans, a lot of people from different countries. But I think I've for sure formed my close friendships with a couple of Indians, and which does make sense because it's just easier, right? It's more relatable. You have more stuff you like and dislike culturally and stuff like that. So just yeah, that was the sort of how it went. Right?
Mm-hmm. But why were you not making friends in the beginning? What was the thought behind it? Because you're not that kind of a person in general. You like
No,
to
it
make
was
friends.
yeah, no, it wasn't intentional. And uh I mean, so even in DDUC, right? I was part of a big group. But it wasn't like we were hanging out all the time, and then of course COVID happened, so it broke off. Like we didn't have anything to interact on, right? For 2 years. Even over here, it's just I'm not good at like making I'm good at making friends, but I prefer having close friends. Like I want a couple of friends who I'm really close with, and then I can hang out with a lot of people. That's how it is for me. And starting May, it was also to do with like I wanted to apply for jobs properly. I wanted to be of this year because it's really crucial that I get a job. I still don't have one. Clearly, it didn't work out. So I was just going at it. It would be getting my classes in, coming back home, grinding applications out. Absolutely grinding them out like over two, 300 easily in the first 4 or 5 months. So it was more of me being laser focused, which I think maybe I got timing a little wrong. Maybe I could have started with spending time out more with people, getting comfortable, and then grinding it out. But I did the other way, and I sort of regret it. It shouldn't be that way. It's just also a lot of mixture of me being hard on myself and then me wanting to make sure just fulfilling the gaps that I have with work. So in my head, it's just almost a what do you say? So I'm not getting a job. I need a job, right? And the least I can do is, in my head, to give myself that blanket, is I can apply for a lot of jobs. At least I'm putting in the effort, and it's hours on hours and hours, so I can go to sleep at night feeling that I've done something to change that situation. And that's not probably the healthiest angle to look at it. It's not sustainable. So I'm trying to make that shift in life a little bit to calm the fuck down a little bit, uh, play the long term game, and not do the oh, I want this in a year, or I have to do this, or this needs to be done. More of like, I know in the long term what will be done. I'm completely comfortable with that. It's just letting it flow a little, like losing your grip a little bit, and then it's like, you know what, let it flow. Like, thoda karne do. I'm not trying to
Mm.
hold on to everything. Like, oh, I need to do this. Like, it's also, uh, I think, a scenario of like you wanting to be in control of everything because you're afraid of making mistakes. I think it draws out from a conversation we were having earlier in the week, right? So it's a lot of that. You want to be in control because you don't want to make mistakes. And then all you can do is because you're not in control, you sort of satisfy yourself by doing enough work where you trick your mind to think that you are in control. So
Mm.
probably one of those cases. So I'm trying to correct myself on that.
So what changed when you came back to India? Before that, you were just uptight and just isolated enough, applying, and then where
Yeah,
was that switch? Was it a burnout? Was it a realization that made you realize that this time's not gonna come back?
I have no idea. I'm not sure. I do remember it. It was a little conscious on my part that I should do this. I'm not sure why that popped up in my head. Maybe it was just me looking at things, stepping back a little, and realizing what can I do better. Because even before leaving, I wasn't uptight at all. I wasn't uptight. It was just I wouldn't go out enough. Whenever I was there, I'm chill. I'm having fun, talking to everybody, laughing, whatever, doing some shithousery, but I wouldn't do that very often. It would be rare, right? And then the sort of circle of domino of that is you don't go out, so you don't get invited. And then you don't get invited, so you don't go out. And that keeps on going around. And then you
Mm.
can't blame anybody but yourself for not being invited to go out because if they're gonna hear no every time, why would anybody bother, right? So, and then I'm not sure why I did that or when it happened, but I felt I need to correct my ways, relax a little bit, and it was just in general overall life. And yes, credit to people that I talked to a lot in those months and like just all over my year because again these are different people, these are high performing people, these are really smart people that I'm friends with, but my way is not the only right way. sort of. They function in a different way. They function in a way which is much more healthy, which is much more, yeah, healthy is the only word for it. Like you're
Sustainable.
happier then, it's
Mm.
sustainable, you're happier then. And then it sort of made me want to think about how I look at life and how it's not okay. Uh, so I'm not at the point where I'm as chill as a lot of people, but I am for sure very chill compared to a lot of people. So I've shifted a little from one extreme of like just head down and go, go, go. And it's like you ignore what you're feeling and it's fine, it's a phase, it'll go off. Sometimes you need to do that in life. And I'm trying to do it when I need to in my life. I will do
Mm.
it again for sure at different times of my life. But that was my constant way of living, which was just do or die. And it was just survival mode all the time, which is not okay to do. So it was credit to people I hung out with, talking about life, how they look at stuff, just listening to them talk and understanding what's their perspective and trying to learn something. And one of the things, shout out to mom, one of the things she's always said is whoever you interact with, try to, number one, look at the good in them, and then also try to take out things from them that you'd like to have. So like see what you like about somebody and always try to pick a good habit or like something you like about them that they do. Because a lot of times I think we do like people, of course, who we find comfort in people who are similar to us. But we also tend to like people who maybe are better than us at something. Or there's this sort of personality trait that they have or a way of life they have that you like and you would always want in your life, but you can't do that. And so you are borderline impressed by it and you're intrigued by it. So you want to be friends with them, right? And it's like you can always pick those things out and then try to take away from that. Oh, how can I do better in life and stuff like that? So I think it's a combination of all of them and then me deciding I need to relax a little bit. Well,
Mhm.
I'm not sure if it was the right decision because I still don't have a job, but it's fine. It's going. I can't help it. Yeah.
No, it's all gonna happen. But I want to know more about these habits. What have you learned? And also shout out to all your friends that you tell me about. And also you guys are towards that farewell sort of a time. So let's
Yeah,
talk
yeah, yeah,
about
I
the
agree.
friendships and what have you learned from each of them? Like what have you imbibed?
Okay. Uh, okay. Hmm. So it's number one thing is, uh, the these are smart people. Okay. And they, of course, they are, and they are honest with their work because if you're not, you wouldn't be working. And these are people who have better profiles than me. They have worked in places which are better than me. They're older than me, a lot of them. They're my age as well, but they're just better at work experience. They're better at things. Uh, and but they're also more relaxed. And that I couldn't make sense of that. Like I couldn't make sense of it. Some people are just naturally very calm, but it's just there's people who will have fun, like who are just having fun all the time, but they're still in motion, they're still doing their job. And it's just, I realized, okay, my way is not the only way. And I tried to sort of, it was more of getting hints from these people, observing them, and getting these hints that, okay, maybe there's another way to do what I'm doing and be sustainable, be a little more happy, and not be a miserable human. And then combined with that, a lot of introspection of why I do certain things I do, or why do I feel the need of to sit down and work hours and hours. And that's just me being comfortable. Why? Because I'm scared to fail or whatever that is. And then just sort of asking why to myself, and then realizing what matters, what doesn't matter, what's important to me. It's very uncomfortable. It's a very uncomfortable thing to do because it's like it's one of those things. So, I'm sure you've heard this, where a lot of doctors say that people who have been depressed in life, it's easier for them to go back into depression because it feels like home to them. Or if you've been sad for a really long time because things happen in your life, that just sometimes feels default to you. You feel
Mhm.
a lot more comfortable in that. So all of these habits that I've had of pushing myself to the extreme, like, and then staying at the extreme, is more of that stuff where I feel uncomfortably comfortable. Like I'm
Hmm.
physically tired, I'm mentally tired, but I'm emotionally comfortable because I've given it my all. And it's not a healthy thing to do. And then just fighting back and forth with myself on that I need to change this. It's not okay. Uh, just doing that and taking that off of people. And honestly, like then it sort of became uh, it rolled itself because I would go out a little more. I would say yes to more plans. And then the more I said yes to them, the more plans I started going to getting invited to. And then it just became, I just got more comfortable with the idea of going out more or having more fun. Because eventually, if I'm consciously trying as well to make sure that I'm not worried about this. So if I wouldn't do that consciously, I would just go out to still be worried about stuff, about work. But then I
Exactly.
start to go out enough, and then after enough times, it's just school. It's like I'm here right now. I'll enjoy, and then I'll go back home. I'll work. It's fine. There's only so many hours I can add into my work, but this would mean a lot more to me 10 years down the line because I know I'm confident that 10 years down the line, 15 years down the line, I will be successful in whatever is successful in my eyes at that age. Okay, I at least need to have fun. Do you want me to go back to India or work or be 40 years old and be like, what did you do in Cambridge? Oh, nothing. I just went to just business school. Of course not. I need to have something to tell myself and like enjoy and stuff. So that's something. And then what I've learned from people is quite a few things. Being calm, like being insanely calm under like anything. Like things could be going wrong in your life, but I have a few friends who are like mad calm, just calm. You
But
wouldn't,
how?
I don't know how. I don't know how. It's just who they are. It's just nature. It could be how they've been brought up. It could be just who they are. Then I have a few friends since I've learned just pure musty is the agenda. Like going out, having fun. And then there's a few friends who I have a couple of friends. They're like emotionally so smart, like insanely. Like you have a conversation with them, and they're just emotionally hella smart. Like they're on a different level of just emotional caution, and that's crazy to me. Like they're so. I say, I'm like we have had this conversation where we are always pulling back and forth between two thoughts or two ideas or two ways of functioning. Uh, I have a friend who I feel they are they're not doing that consistently. They have an idea of like what's right and what's wrong, and it's actually what's right and what's wrong. If I decide on something or this is the right way to act, it
Yeah.
might be wrong. I do have doubts on it, but this one friend I have, they they just always seem to do the right fucking thing somehow. Like emotionally, they're very mature, and it's just a skill they have. So I try to pick that up. Oh, how are they reacting on things? How are they talking? Or maybe it's just they also have this back and forth, but they do
Hmm.
not, they are able to process it way better than I do and come out with the right decisions. Because it's unfair on them to say they do not have this back and forth. So maybe they
Yeah.
do, they're just better at understanding themselves and the broader context of things.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm. So how do you develop that muscle? Like just by observing people?
Hmm. It's mostly that. It's just I think it's one of those things, right? The more time you spend with people, you will become like that. And
Hmm.
how do you do that? I don't have an answer. It just happens. It's just if you because you sort of get narrowed out of things, right? That's why if you have a focused group,
Hmm.
if you have five friends and all of them are entrepreneurs, you will probably never learn how to live your life not on an extreme,
Hmm.
right? So if you have five people, like I still remember being in Mumbai, and all of the friends I lived with or I had mostly out of office were people in the creative industry, right? Some of them would be a model, some of them would be writing stuff, some of them would be directing, some of them would be actors, and it's just that environment is so beautiful. It's insane. It's like they are actually the cool people. We think we're not. The environment when you sit with them, it's just I felt like I could see more things in a different perspective. I felt like I wouldn't do anything creative, but like my perspective on things would change. Why? Because I'm surrounded in my home all the time with people who are creative. They have a different way of looking at life. They're a lot more relaxed. They're a lot more calm. Because imagine trying to be an actor when you're 20. You don't have any parent who was an actor. You are, let's say, a corporate guy's kid, or you were an army kid, and you want to be an actor. Okay, after time, there's no point in stressing out. Like you will get roles when you get roles. So you could spend 7 years of your life just doing like getting no roles, and you still need to be calm with it. You
Mm.
can't be excited if you get one role because you might not get another one for 3 more years. So they're very chill about life in general, which people over here are not. They might be chill day to day, but about life they're not as chill. Like nobody, and back in Mumbai, all of them were that chill. So I lived with them. I became a little more like that. So I was just picking things off, observing them. Sometimes when it's something extreme, you try to be conscious about it. For me, it was very extreme that I wasn't hanging out. I wanted to make relationships, I wanted to make friends, but I wasn't putting in the effort. And I was being a bad friend or whatever it was. So then if it's that extreme, you need to consciously do it. Then I would consciously try to, if I want to get that muscle kicked in of how this friend I have who makes the right decision of like emotional maturity, I would probably have a conversation with them. I think I will at some point. I have it in my head to have that conversation when I get the right setting and I sit down with them. I will have this conversation. So it's just that sometimes you do it consciously, sometimes it just happens.
Mm. Interesting. And if it was not about Cambridge, okay, let me frame it this way. If you were, let's say, in Bombay, or maybe you went to Spain or somewhere, of course, we don't know, but
Mm.
how did it change you as a person? Like, I'm sure, like, you have gotten a lot of perspective, you have become more calmer and chilled out. What else?
Yeah, the thing is, I'm not sure if I would put that on Cambridge because the way you, like, anywhere you go in life, the reason you change is always the people. Like, it's never gonna happen that I became smarter one day or I created a new math formula and my perspective on life changed.
Oh,
It will
damn,
always
that's
be
so
people.
true.
It was
Yeah,
always be people, right? So it's not
yeah.
about the location. So if it's like if I had the same people in Mumbai, I would change in same ways. If I had the Mumbai people here, I would still same change the same ways. So I can't answer that like because I don't know what people I would have met, right, in Madrid or whatever. It's just how when things change, I think the opportunities change in a way to express yourself. So if I was in Madrid, I know for a fact, like when I talk to these people from IE, they go out a lot more. They enjoy a lot more. They are the true definition of work hard, play harder. So maybe I would have gotten the opportunities more and I would have picked on it earlier. But I think it would be the same thing if these people were there, is what I mean. So how your core perspectives change because of people, and then how much you can act on it depends on where you are, right? So I can't answer that unless I know what sort of people I meet.
Hmm. But in retrospect, what do you think how have you changed as a person and as a professional, India versus London?
Uh, I don't think I've changed as much as I would have liked to.
Mm.
Uh, there's still a few core things that I don't like about myself. But I've for sure made this insane change. If I was on one end of things where I can only work, and this has been me forever. And I think sometimes I feel this is my edge, which I'm letting go, which is really hard for me. My edge is just being able to push every day when nobody else can. That I, in my head, is my edge or has been my edge. And then after Mumbai and after a few things, I went on to the other extreme of what's even the point of working this hard? If I can make money, but don't have the time to spend it, what's the point then? So I went on to the other extreme of, you know what, I'll just do what I like. I don't care if I
Mm.
make money. And that was just on either extremes, and ideal place is the balance, right? And then when I came back to when I came to the UK, I was again on this extreme. that I want to make the best out of this opportunity, but I've slightly come to this part. Now sometimes it's like I'm over here because I'm trying to get from here to here. In the short term, I will be here. That's the only way I get in the middle. I'm not sure if that makes sense because naturally, intuitively, I'm just this person, right? So I need to overcorrect a little to correct a bit. So yeah, that's that's I think that's something which has changed, which I've always wanted to do, and then not
Hmm.
feel that bad about it. I think I'll always feel bad about just or not working all the time, but I don't feel bad enough that it bothers me. It's like it's fine. I'll get it done. I'll do I'll do it.
Hmm.
Right.
Hmm.
So I think that's a really major change, which is really hard to make for anybody. And I've tried to work on it and I'm getting better. And it also depends on like just life situations, right? Because I have the opportunity to do it right now, like this, I can do it.
Hmm.
But if I start working where I have to work 16 hours a day, I can't have fun even if I want to. So, but it's fine. It's like, yeah, that's what I would say has changed me a little bit, and I like that.
Hmm. Hmm. And you mentioned that you envisioned some changes that didn't happen. We all put all those expectations, and we have that whole visual of ourselves coming out of a university being XYZ and all those different factors. What were the
Hmm.
changes that you envisioned and it didn't happen?
Hmm. So I think it's not anything which is like really material, but I'm very like I how do I say it? Let me think about it. Let me try to frame it. Let me gather my thoughts. I would have like I would have wanted myself to be more patient, right? Just a calmer individual. Number one. Uh yeah, that would solve like a lot. But I think it would also take away a lot of my personality. But I think I felt like I would be a more calm person. I would want to be. I didn't think that would happen because of this course. It might just happen with due time. And I think that comes a lot with being secure as well. For some reason, I relate to. Like you wouldn't see an insecure person who's calm. That's ball knowledge there. That's a good knowledge drop. Yeah. So it's like I think it will come with time when I start feeling more secure in myself in terms of everything, just my skills, just how I handle things, my relationships. So I think it will come with due time. Maybe I am more calm right now, and I don't realize it because it's just me. And I'll see like a huge change when it's been, I don't know, consistently happening and it's been multiplying. Then I'll see it. But yeah, that's something I would have liked more to like be not toned down. Maybe, yeah, this is the thing with life, right? You don't know what's your opinion and what's everybody else's opinion. Because I do feel where I was brought up, how I have been all my life. I would be asked to tone down a little, right?
Hmm.
Like if I were a little toned down, I would have been better. I would be a better person. Now, is that my thought or is that an accumulation of thoughts from people? So that's like I don't know if I want to do that. If I do that, maybe I lose my personality, right? Now it's I think having a slightly strong personality in terms of where it's always like in whatever case of things you have a strong personality. It could be any strong personality. There's not one defined personality which is strong. Any strong personality is like a double-edged sword. If you misstep even a little bit, you can come off really wrong.
Yep.
Right. So it's like difficult to control. And then if you're asked to be toned down, it usually means that have a personality which is a little less strong at times. Right. And then it's, eh, it's a constant question in life how you want to deal with that and shit like it. So that's it's like questions you will solve all your life.
Hmm. Wow. That
यार
really hit me hard.
ये तो यार इंटरव्यू कर दिया यार तो उसका तुमने थोड़ा पॉडकास्ट भी कर लो ऐसे रैपिड फायर कर रही हो यार
What do you have to ask me?
हम्म, नहीं, ये तो फिर ये तो रिवर्स वो हो जाएगा ना, रिवर्स
Hmm.
रैपिड फायर हो जाएगा. What do I want to ask you? Hmm. Because we have the post production capabilities. When are you finding a boy?
I don't really think I'm gonna find one in at least a few years because I have a lot of inner work to do. All the
Hmm.
people I'm meeting these days, they are more like an inner work experiment for me.
Well, we're back to the conversation of you using people for your own good.
I
Selfish
genuinely,
individual. And you're like so blatantly open with it. Yeah, I'm using them for my own inner work. I'm becoming a
yeah,
better human at their expense.
so that the ultimate best one can get the best of me. That is
Hmm.
the,
We love our toxic queen. So it's like he's doing, I mean, if you're not bi, your partner, future partner is doing their thing with women, improving themselves as a, oh shit, you don't like that.
why
You
did you
won't
say
like that.
that? Yeah. Oh shit. And you always do that with me.
Nice, fair point, man.
Let's get back. Let's get back to
Nice, fair point.
interview.
How do you expect them to be very developed with themselves, inside themselves, have done a lot of inner work without having relationships with people,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
I
Like
can't be
then they'll
that
be a newbie.
selfish. Yeah.
Then there'll be a proper like a first time relationship. That would be weird. Like you don't want to do
Quite a lot
that,
of
right?
work on my part to do then. Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. They must be doing the
Mm.
same thing. It's
Yeah.
okay.
So we love our toxic kings and we love our toxic queens. I hope you find a toxic king, man.
On it.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Mm.
Coming back to, I think this would be the last question. And I
Mm.
have no last question prepared, but anything that you missed out on, anything that you would like to say to people. I'm sure there might be a lot of people who will watch this journey. Somebody who is, going extremely hard
Absolutely.
on CFA and then planning to go to such an awesome place. I was just asking my sister, she is last year she graduated. I'm like, do you want to ask anything to Kushagra? She's like, yeah, like how did he make it to Cambridge and how did he make it look so effortless? And so a lot of people must have
Mm.
the same view of, your journey.
Mm.
Anything that you missed out on.
So the thing is, like your sister said, do you have a real sister?
Hmm.
I thought you didn't. Oh yeah, you told me. Fuck.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad, my bad. So I would want to say to her and everybody else, the thing is, it's when you look at anything from the outside, it's very glorified and it's very, yeah, just came your way, right? But it's not true at all in any case. Okay? Because she was looking at it from far away, it looked easy. I mean, I'm not saying she said it's easy, but you said a line which is like, oh, I made it look
Yeah.
effortless,
You
right?
make it
That's
look
because,
effortless.
yeah, because it's just, because she's witnessing you putting in the work firsthand, she wouldn't find your work effortless. But me sitting across thousands of miles away, and if I interact with you less, I would feel
Hmm.
like, oh, I just every 3 4 months, Tanushka is doing some big stuff, man. She's her graph is very exponential, but then it's not true. You're putting in the hours, right? So it, it looks effortless when you're from far away. So it's not like I'm not somebody who's super smart or things come easy to me in the sense that uh, I'm lucky, yes, but it's not like I'm that smart where I can just do whatever I want to. So it's not that. Everybody's end of the day, all of us, all of the people you look up to, they're just humans, which is good habits at times. And I would say I got lucky at most things in my life with my parents, with the situation I ended up in terms of just what my parents can't do, what's their priority. They were never thought of spending less money on my education. They were, even if they don't have enough money, my education should be top notch, right? So that's sort of giving me that confidence of you do whatever, we trust in you. So it's things like that which help you just be comfortable and ready to give in. So I got really lucky with my environment. And then one thing I Of course, I try not to be as extreme anymore. But one thing I really truly believe is just work hard. Be honest to yourself and work hard. And it hurts like a bitch when you work hard and it doesn't work out in that thing. Because I've had a few things where I've worked like a psychopath for things, hundreds of hours, and they have just no result. Okay, now is that wasted hard work? Sometimes I do feel yes, but then there's things it does. It's like it teaches you how to work hard. So the next thing you do, you can still work hard on it, or it gives you a skill that you learned previously. So it's just do whatever you like to do, but do it honestly. That's one thing. But then also keep a balance where you are having fun. If you were, listen, nobody likes, of course, in the public light, scoring a 99.99% is wow, right? Oh, that's so cool. But that's only a moment of wow, and that's so cool. But if you're scoring that 99.99 while also playing a couple of sports, while being well spoken, while being educated on the world, then it's truly a wow when they're interacting with you as well. And you were a nice person. But usually you can't do that if you're scoring a 99.99. On the other hand, if you score 94%, 95%, but you do a sport, you play an instrument, more than all of the shit, if you're a good person, if you're not miserable, right? You will have those wows in the long term. Like day-to-day basis is what you need a wow at, not at the end line. End line, wow, everybody else. You're, but you need that on a day-to-day basis. And then the only way to not be a miserable human is to be just a good human, be a good friend, be caring, look out for people. And how do you do that when if you're working 16 hours a day, you don't have enough time for anybody else. I don't blame you. It's not your own. It's just the
Mhm.
consequences of you working hard. So if you have the chance, you should work like this. If your boards are coming up, if you need to study 20 hours a day, study. But I'm saying don't do that 12 months a year. Know
Mhm.
what you're doing. Go out. Do not miss on stuff. It does not matter. Nobody asks me here what I got in 11th. Like pick and choose. I knew people would ask what you scored in 12th, so I scored a decent percentage. In 11th, I had like 65%, man. Because
Mhm.
nobody asks. It's fine. Figure it out. It's like chill, relax a little bit, especially this. Like, because the thing is, people who would be watching this, or I think people who would watch the content you will make, because you're very driven, you're very smart, you're very ambitious. Usually, people who are on the similar circle of things, they will look at it. And it's like these are people who are on one extreme. And all of this advice of working hard isn't really adding on to them because they already do that. So my advice would be for most of the people who are watching this is relax. It's not that serious. All right. Start taking yourself lightly. You are sadly not that important. I hope you change the world, but it's fine. You can change the world if you work 2 less hours. Like relax a little bit. All right. Just drop your shoulders, take 4 deep breaths in and out. And you're not that serious. It's fine. Like relax, do something, have fun in life as well. And I can say that because I am the most like I have been that all my life. I still am, but I consciously try to correct it. So yeah, that's what I would want to say.
Lovely. Yes. And I
Okay.
expect to do this once again,
Yeah.
maybe in the next, I think 6 months will be a better time, not 3 months, because you'll settle in and then
Mm.
you will have more
Yeah.
information about working in
Uh,
London.
if I when I get a job, hopefully.
Come on. The
Yeah,
opportunities
but
you're already getting, they're like top notch. I'm
there's
excited about
nothing
the
turning
content
out
I'm
of you.
gonna get out of you.
Yeah, no, no, no. Thank you for this. It was very surprising to me that you would ask me to do this because I mean, we've been really close in the last year, but then when I first interacted with you, or the first opinion I had of you was because you were, of course, senior to me, and then I've told you, you looked very uptight as well. You're like, you know what, I'll boss lady, and I completely admire that, and that's also the reason why it was very easy for us to get in touch after DDUCI because I had admiration for you. And I was really surprised because I see you as somebody who's really smart, who's somebody who's really inspirational. And for you to asked to have a conversation with me was, I would say it's surprising, but I wasn't expecting it. So I really appreciate it. And yeah, that's all. Thank you so much. And I don't, I'm sure whatever your vision is with this, or with opening your personal YouTube, if it's personal branding, whatever your angle is, we haven't had that conversation yet, but I'm sure it will turn out really well. It will suit you. So don't stress out a lot and calm the fuck down. It's fine.